But Shankar Bhagavan says, Punya Punya Binamalahina Santa, for it is only when His mercy is showered, good karmas accumulated over thousands of births, then one is blessed to be in such environment. So with this in mind, we consider ourselves highly blessed. We say a most cordial and special welcome also to all devotees and bhaktas across the world who join us at the Sant Nagar Hindu Temple, branch number 67 of the SDMS of Ojo Road in Sangre, Grande, Trinidad, West Indies, streaming live again by members of the youth group, the Sant Nagar youth group of this institution. A most cordial and special welcome. Having had puja, kirtan, we now join in Prabhu's Katha, as we take a dip in this fathomless lake of nectar, the Srimad Bhagavad Puran. So let us sit upright and keep our focus on that lotus-like form of Sri Krishna Bhagavan. Visualize the Lord possessing the dark hue complexion, beautiful crown upon thy head with a peacock's feather, lovely alligator-shaped earrings adorning the ears of the Lord, and the magical flute, the bansuri, is between his lips. The most expensive and beautiful Kaustuba gem decorates the chest area. He stands in a three-pointed posture described as Tribhangi ke Nath, clad in bright, shiny yellow outfit, pitambar kahani kache. But of all the features of the Lord, we rever most of all thy lotus feet. Bhagavan came, devotees, whenever the cow is under trouble, under pressure, Bhagavan does take manifestation, but that's a divine kritya. Ve pradheru sura santahet linha manuja utar, neja iksha nirmittanu maya guna gopar. Most times you'll see Krishna Bhagavan standing by a cow. But think of those feet of the Lord. We mentally bow upon them, begging of Prabhu to bless us with thy divine grace, guidance, mercy, divine protection, divine inspiration, craving the greatest of boons that any human can be blessed with, the gift of unswerving, unfaltering, uninterrupted, unflinching, loyal devotion to thee. Those feet, Prabhu, we remind ourselves, they have the holy Ganga river flowing on earth. They redeemed the hill they are cursed into a rock when you came as Shri Ram. Guha lays those feet before you ferried across Ganga. Janak devotees on the day of the wedding, washing those feet counted as blessings. Vibhishan, thrown out from Lanka, he sought refuge unto those feet and was saved, devotees. So too, as we mentally bow, we join in reverence, paying obeisance to Bhagavan, keeping our focus upon him as we rever the other divinities. Begin with Shri Ganesh. Hari Om. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatiyai Namaha, Shri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namo Namaha. Om Yam Brahma Vedanta Vido Vadante, Param Pradhana Purushanta Thanye, Veshwar Gate Karanam Ishwaram Va, Tasmai Namo Vigna Vinashanaya, Vinadhare Vipulamangaladhanashile, Bhaktarati Nashini Viranachikari Vande, Kirti Prade Akhila Manoratha De Maharihi, Vidya Pradayini Saraswati Naumi Nityam. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Nilambuja Shamal Komalangam Sita Samarapitavam Bhagam Pano Mahashayak Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvan Sanatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kanasachanurmardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Vande Jagadguru. Nama Vigyana Rupaye Paramananda Rupine Krishnaye Gopinathaya Govindaya
Namo Namah.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Gau Brahman Hitaya Cha Jagadithaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah. Nigama Kalpataro Galikam Phalam Shukamukhada Mritadrau Sanyutam Pibat Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuva Bhavuka Parikari Krita Pita Patam Hari Shikikiri Tanati Krita Kandaram Lakuta Benu Karambachala Kundaram Patutharam Natadesha Dharam Bhaje. Om Kling Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijan Balbhadraye Namaha. Om Nagendra Haraya
Trilochanaya
Bhashmangaragaya
Maheshwaraya
Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nakaraya
Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah
Shivaya.
Om Namah
Shivaya.
Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swatha Namostute. Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Purarvindrayata Patra Netram Yena Tvaya Bharata Talya Puranam Prajvalito Jnanam Pradipam. Sri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nija Mana Mukura Sudha Varno Raghuvara
Himalaya Cha
Jotaya Kapalacha Budhina Tanu Janike O Sumira Pavan Kumar Bal Buddhi Vidya Dekhu Mohi Arahu Kalesha Vikar Vrindavan Krishna Chandra Ji ki jai Sharanam. Nath Mama Sankat Haro Hari. प्रेम से बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. We join in Bandana to the Srimad Bhagavad Puran. Riddhi Siddhi Data. Who is Riddhi Siddhi Data? Lord Ganesh, the consort of Riddhi and Siddhi. It begins with that. Riddhi Siddhi Data Siddhi Sadana Varan Varanan Sumira Bhuparam Madan Kadan Kevala O Ganapati Kripanidhan Jnana Khani Ananda Bhavan Dehu Mohi Vardhan Varnava Bhasha Bhagavata Jai Shiva Ananda Kanda Bhutanath Bhavaiharan Bhakti Vishay Nirdvanda सुरवरन
मंगल
करण, हे ब्रज चंद्र मुकुंद, ब्रजभूषण दूषण हरण, पातहु भौ भय फंद, चरण शरण ली आन कर, जय 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 जगदीश, सेवत शीश महेश यज, महिमा अमित अभेद, वेद भेद जानत नहीं, ओ देखु मोहि वरदान, राधा वर यह वर सदा, प्रेम भरी मुस्कान, नित चित में खत खत रहे, मोहि चाहिए कछु नहीं, और वस्तु प्रभु जगत की, बसी रहे मन माही, यह बाकी छाती सदा, ओली लकुटिया गायन के पीछे फिरता, बाल बाल लिए मोर मुकुट शिर पर धरे, कर मुरली उर्मा, शीश मुकुट करि पीत पता, यह छवि सो नंदलाल, बसहु हृदय मम निषिधि वश, ओ गुरु पद रज धरषि, कहु भागवत की कथा, जो सुख देव मुनि, कही परीक्षित नृपति सो, वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र जी की जय, शरणम नाथ मम संकट हरो हरि, बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। Praise again be to Devi Saraswati. As we crave her boons, bless us, Ma. We always crave for your boons in the form of a sharp and broad intellect, to always have good memory, eloquence in our speech, melody in our voice, creativity in our hands, mastery of our musical instruments, all in the field of fine arts, skills and talents. Daya raksha क्षमा करो। जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता। जय जय जय
श्री सरस्वती माता।
ओ जय 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 श्री रमा राधिका माता। जय जय जय
श्री सरस्वती माता।
ओ जय जय जय
श्री सरस्वती माता।
प्रथम विनवमय श्री गणेश को दूजे सरस्वती माँ। कीजे मैं विनवती न देवा को जो यह सृष्टि चला। कीजे मैं विनवती न देवा को जो यह सृष्टि चला। जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता। जय 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 Sri Rama Radhika Ma.
जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता
Oh,
जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता
चौथे मैं वेनावा पंच सभी को ज्ञान तुझे उलथा श्रीमद् भागवत नूपम करने भवसागर पार करा श्रीमद् भागवत नूपम करने भवसागर पार करा जय 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 श्री
सरस्वती माता
ओ जय 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 श्री रमा राधिका मा
जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता
ओ जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता आदि शक्ति सरस्वती देवी माता की जय. Praise again be to this noble pathway of life of ours that we follow. You might be wondering why every time I keep singing it, a verse of it, to remind ourselves. Let our children know that the pathway of life that they follow is second to none in the universe. There is no faith that is older than Sanatan Dharam, this pathway of Hinduism, devotees. There is no language that is older than Sanskrit. What are the outfit that Lord Vishnu wears? And the lower part of his body. The dhotis are really, really old and ancient, wear. Look at what Lakshmi Mata has. A sari is a unique wear. The divinities are dressed in it. So we follow a pathway of life second to none. And it's not something we borrowed or it was forced upon us. Our forefathers handed down to us. And you will notice something about Hinduism. Hindus do not go about the place, hey, I want you to join my religion. We do not force people to convert to Hinduism. If you want to come to join Hinduism, that has to come from your heart. Right? And remember, if you want to be a Hindu and you are Hindu, you cannot eat the meat of the cow and say you are Hindu. You are a hypocrite. You cannot, I'm telling you. You cannot eat the meat of the cow, beef, and its byproducts. We have to make sure with that and let our children do that. And you see, today it's difficult when you buy things outside, food outside. You could get contaminated very quickly. Every part of that cow, a divinity resides. Lord Krishna manifested for the sake of the cow. Liye lakutiya haat gaya neke piche firatva. Gwala bala liye saat mora mukuta shira paradhare. Krishna Bhagwan is to go out every morning with his little stick driving the cows all day in the pasture. In the evening he'll bring them back. Without the cow, when the cow is under pressure, vapor is the holy Brahmanas, Dhenu is cow. Sura, the righteous ones, Sant, holy ones. Good people, the earth are under trouble. Bhagavan does take manifestation. So as Hindus, devotees, and you let others know that too. A lot of people don't know, right? And they consume it, but they don't have the idea, the knowledge of it. You have to let them know that. That we cannot consume the meat of the cow and profess to be a Hindu, no. This book is not supposed to be read to a person who eaten the meat of the cow, the Bhagavad and the Gita. Because you're not a love of Krishna Bhagavan. You see it? If you love Krishna Bhagavan, you will not partake of those type of meals. That he is so old. Karhi devotees came in, or Adalpuri came in, our forefathers came from Uttar Pradesh. That is where that came from, you know. The full moon katha that we keep here every full moon night came when they came here around 45 years ago, 75 years ago. That Kalsa used on the Bedi, thousands of years they have been using that. So the tradition is so ancient that whatever again karmas we do, let us do the karmas to protect it, to propagate it. Right? Do not do the karmas to degrade it. Praise be to the Spatri of Sanatan Dharam. Kako ek baar ye metro Sanatan Dharam ki jai ho.
कहूँ एक बार हे मित्रों सनातन धर्म की जय हो.
करो प्रचारो दुनिया में ओ सनातन धर्म की जय हो.
करो प्रचार दुनिया में सनातन धर्म की जय हो.
परे चाहे कष्ट लाखों ही ना छोड़ो धर्म अपने को.
परे चाहे कष्ट लाखों ही ना छोड़ो धर्म अपने को.
भले ही प्राणों तक जावे सनातन
धर्म की जय हो. सनातन धर्म की जय हो. सनातन धर्म की जय हो.
बोलो श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय. उमापति महादेव की जय. वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. सर्वदेवी सर्वदेवता की जय. साधु गुरु के दंडवत जय 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 सीताराम. हरि भक्त कल्याण. इसी right? Yeah. Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Blessed are we devotees with this divine privilege afforded to us, that we can take a dip in this fathomless lake of nectar, Srimad Bhagavad Puran. As Sri Sukdev Muni continues to recite this katha to Raja Parikshit, who had but 7 days to live. Raja Parikshit was already liberated. Okay? He was in oneness with Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He had devotees in the latter half of the 10th volume of the Bhagavad Puran. He had the Vedas devotees took the form of living beings and came there and praised Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Having praised him, you know what the essence of it is? They are saying, what a foolish person in this world we are. Huh? To put aside devotees, the lotus-like feet of Krishna Bhagavan, and devotees, to allow this gifted body, which is the highest in God's creation of 8,400,000 species, to devote it to the pleasures of the senses. Right? Which devotees, as the comparison was made, that the lotus-like feet of Sri Krishna Bhagavan is like the paras money, and the sensuous pleasures of the world is like an ordinary piece of glass. So you throw away a valuable thing to take up something which is of no value. And devotees, the reason being, you see, this is serious knowledge, because the whole issue is that we have to leave here and go one day. Bhagavan gave us this body for the purpose to reach back to Him, which we have the privilege. Really and truly, once we have this body, we really are supposed to born back, you know. We could work our way to get oneness, Atma merging into Paramatma. What does cause we to come back? When the mind gets deluded and trapped in the sensuous pleasures of this world. Through desires we commit karmas. And karmas, devotees, every action has a reaction to it. Here they are reminding us that lotus-like feet of Bhagavan Krishna should be the focus of everyone. At least devotees, when we are growing older in life, we should grow towards the feet of Krishna Bhagavan. But you see, when you commit karmas, you have to remain and pay for them. You don't go unnoticed, karma don't go unnoticed. Right? Karma, same Bhagavad tell, if it takes 1 trillion years, you have to come back and pay for what you do. But you know, it's a great thing in Kali Yuga, you could burn out bad karmas from previous birth and even here what you make. And what is the way recommended to burn it out? It has no way that is quicker and more effective than satsang. Any action you could perform with this body towards yajna, to make God activities happen, that burns out bad karmas quickly in Kali Yuga. Right? Eating the remnants of a yajna burns out your bad karmas. So the more time we could spend on this pathway is better for us. Now, being involved in this type of activities, what happens? It keeps you away from the other one. Because if you are in this, you're going in the next one. Definitely, that's what will happen is human nature. So you'll be occupied on this side. And due to that, you will be knocking off bad karmas, building good ones. That even self, when you get across and you have to come back, you want to come back better than you are. You see, Bhagavad has that. And the great thing about it, you know, it's a great thing. Tulsidas says, Eka ghari adhi me punyar. Maximum there's be 2 hours you can spend in this environment. But the little moments spent with the mind devotees dedicated to Bhagavan, Bhagavan's puja, kirtan and katha, it has the power to burn out those bad karmas. Devotees, you know what is also happening? Watch how quickly, all right, time is going. Right? Watch how quickly time is going. You might remember, but Joshua, just the other day you born, boy. Look how big you get already. You're playing this drum so good, eh? Think about it. You see how it is be? You watch a baby now born, next thing you see the child running about. Next thing with a school bag. Next thing you had to write and see exam. And funny time you had to hit high school, you just do that. Next thing you see this at long. Children come in. And you watch and see how fast 50 years coming in your life. How fast you're going to make 50 years. Will I ever believe that happens so fast in your life? I'm telling you, this is this reality. Right? And when you reach 50, as soon as you hit the decade, now 60 going to meet you. And we all feel that we're going to live 110 years, eh? Right? Thank God if you make 60 these days, eh? And if you can make it healthy. Healthy. Although you have better health care and so on, nothing now than before. But you see what has happened is when you're healthy, you just tell yourself you wouldn't get sick. Right? And this time you're putting pressure on this body. And when the time comes now, what happened is too late. Organs start to fail and all these things and so on. And without health, nothing is important in this world. We run after the materialistic nature. That's why it tells you in everybody's life, there's a one big question mark. And you know what that question mark is? How much is enough? How much is enough in materialism? Is it ever enough? It will ever be enough. You just had to come to terms with that question mark. And I can't do it for you and you can't do it for me. You have to sit down and come to terms with it. How much really is enough in this world? So that we could devote and dedicate now for the true purpose for which we are here, which is the pathway towards spirituality. So let us see what Sri Sukadeva Maharaj continues. Hari Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswati Ay Namaha Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namo Namam Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namam Dharayan ko Sravar ko Hari Om Gam ko Kamang ko Kamnanan ko Hari Om Si Bharjanang ko Nrinam Om Shri Sukadev Jivbach Inang Sakurishi Nadishtang Hari Om Grihitava ko Hari Om Sradayatma Vanam Purana ko Sruta Dharo ko Raja Traha ko Vira ko Brato ko Muninam Narad ko Vach Namasyante ko Bhagavatai ko Krishnai ko Yagi ko Kiryaki Hai Yo ko Dhati ko Sarva Bhutanam Hari Om Bhavai ko Yoshati Kala Iti Yar ko Brita Rishi ko Mananya Takshi ko Hari Om Shanashwa ko Mahamana Tadu ko Anga Dakshamang ko Sakshati ko Patuhai ko Payata Me Namaha Shri Vendraban Bihadi Lal Ki Jai Sri Sukdev Muni Bole Ki He Raja Parikshit Man Vachan Karam Suno Hari Om Bhagavan Bole Krishna Bhagavan replied, how the Vedas having thus praised him, Sri Krishna said, Ki He Naradji, he spoke to Narad who was there. इस प्रकार को ब्रह्मा के पुत्र सनकादि को वेदों के स्तुति को सुनकर आत्मा को गति को जान को सनंदन जी को पूजा करे के लगे है श्री राधावर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय. The Lord Bhagavan Sri Krishna, having heard in this way devotees the exposition regarding the self by the Vedas in the human form, they were talking about the Atma or the soul. Right? The difference between the soul and the body. Okay? They shape devotees in the form of this eulogy by the Vedas themselves. What happened in the living form here. And realize again the true nature of the self. And thereby again achieve their end, as it were. For devotees, they know the exact. That is the highest philosophy. You could talk about the Sankhya philosophy. So they know up to the end of it in this respect then. Okay, and Sarak and others devotees paid their homage now to Sanandan, who was considered as their preceptor. Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, San Kumar. These are the four brothers there. Okay, mind-born sages of Lord Brahma. And their devotees churned out again by Sanak and others the essence of all the Vedas devotees, the Purans and the Upanishads, which deals with the Atma as the highest. What happened? Hari Om. He Brahma ke putra Naradji. He addressed again. Brahma is Lord Brahma, putra son. Narad is the son of Brahma. Tumko srada purva ko atma ke ko अनुशासन को धारण करके पृथ्वी को या चेष्य को विचारो है. यहाँ आत्मा अनुशान में को मनुष्यों की को विषया को वासना का को नाश को करने वाला है. राधावर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय. O Narad, this exposition relating to the Atma or the self is capable devotees of killing the desires in man. Right? This katha which deals with the Atma and the importance of it has the power to kill desires in man, in the human. When we say desires, devotees, in the sensuous pleasures of this material world, which are very detrimental to us, that causes again, instead of the soul getting moksha, it has to keep returning in the ocean of births and death. Hari namo namam govindaye namo namam. Again, what happened? Go about again the globe, this world again, and other spheres again, which you do, Narad. And as you move about, you keep singing and chanting the praises of the Lord, and you do par upakar. What is parupakar? Narad is a selfless sage. He don't look for anything for himself, but he seeks the welfare of others. And that is the greatest thing we can do with this body. Right? Selfless service. Now remember the logical law. Every action has a reaction. So although you do a selfless service and you're looking for nothing, you reward there. But when you do it selflessly, right, very quicker in fact, then that reward comes to you. It will be there. It does not go unnoticed. Sri Sukdev Muni bole ki he Raja Parikshit. इतनी कथा सुनकर को योगी वर को श्री सुखदेव जी बोले कि हे महाराज परीक्षित. इस प्रकार को श्री नारायण को उपदेश का को सुनकर कृतार को हरिओम, नष्टिक को ब्रह्मचारी, श्रुते योगी को धारण करने वाले नारद मुनि हरिओम श्री नारद मुनि को कहने लगे कि होता है. श्री सुखदेव said, O Raja Parikshit, wait again. With reverence, Narad devotees bowed himself to the humbled himself, in fact, before Sanak and on the others who were there, who were brahmacharis themselves. All right? Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, and Sant Kumar were mind-born sons of Lord Brahma. Brahma really created them as first with the intention of populating the world. And they decided that they will remain as brahmacharis. Sorry. They will not get married, they will not have family and so on. So they remain as brahmacharis, celibate. But although they were very old, they all looked like 16 years old. They never got old. Right? Bursting with spiritual illumination. And so devotees, humbling himself, Narad devotees, who was full of control in his mind, body, speech, senses of perception and so on. What happened? He was fully accomplished again of his purpose, devotees. And the purpose that his life is for, what he is here for, devotees. And looking at the teachings again, Narad replied to them. You see, devotees, birds of a feathers has flocked together. Eh? Narad Muni is ever engrossed in the niti of Bhagavan. Narayan, Narayan, Bhajuman Narayan. Right? He moves through the universe like that. Always with the Lord on his mind. And you know what Yeshua said, to be honest? His simple way, it may look humorous and so on, but Narayan, 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 what it shows you, it's always good to keep the Lord's name on your lips. I don't know if you remember once, a guy came from Virginia, Mr. Ganesh Maraj, and he did puja after me and so on, right? He honored me then, because I'd gone up there to do 7 nights Bhagavad, and he wanted to come down here just to honor me. That man from morning to night, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, whole day and all the time, Ram Ram, Ram Ram. Be driving Ram Ram, Ram Ram, right? Why was Hanumanji always successful on a mission? And he never failed on a mission. He never hesitated to go on a mission. When he moved, Jai Shri Ram. That is the key in devotees. If you look at it, it is the key to successful living. Just keep the Lord in front all the time. Keep remembering the Lord in whatever way you can. Keep him on your mind, and you're going to see that. So Narad Muni moves about the universe in this manner. Narayan, Narayan, Bhajuman Narayan, always engrossed devotees. And so what happened? Hari Om Paramatamaye Govindaye Namo Namam. Narad said, devotees, Hari Om, कि जो भगवान कृष्ण को संपूर्ण को भूतों के कल्याण के लिए सुंदर को अवतार को धारण करके को उनको निर्मल कीर्ति को श्री कृष्ण के को अर्थ नमस्कार है नमस्कार है बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Narad shouted praises to Bhagwan Krishna. Praise be unto you, Sri Krishna Bhagwan, praise be unto you. You again, whose glories are stainless, right? They have nothing to say to, negative to say about it. And you assume charming forms from time to time. Bhagwan does manifest depending on time, place, and condition. Comes upon the earth. You come again. Every time you come, Narad is saying here, why? To make it easier for us as human beings to put a stop to the disease of birth and death. Every time the Lord comes is to make it easier for us to reach back to Him, you know. You know how it is simply put? When Bhagwan comes, is to make it easier for us to make contact with Him, to reach Him. That Bhagwan does have one hand outstretched. You know what you have to do? You just make a little effort and stretch yours for Him to pull Him towards you, pull you towards Him. That is the little effort we have to make, right? Every time He comes, it's to make it easier that we can reach back in oneness with the Lord. Hari Om Narayana Bhakti Kevalam. उदार मन को नारद आदि ऋषि को नारायण को और को उनके को शिष्यों को नमस्कार कर को साक्षात मेरे को पिता को व्यास देव को आश्रम गए की होता है. Bowing very low devotees to Krishna Bhagwan, Narad left devotees for the ashram of Ved Vyas himself. Hari Om. And so devotees, Ved Vyas himself was there at the time when Narad arrived at his ashram. Hari Om. Vyasadev ko sanaman kar ko asan ko diya hai. Vyas ushered Narad in and allowed him a seat to sit. Vyas is the author of the Bhagavad Puran who documented. उसको को ग्रहण कर को नारद जी को नारायण को मुख के जो श्रवण किया था वहां सबको व्यास जी ने वर्णन किया है. You see, devotees, it was realized in Kali Yuga, man will not have memory. This knowledge used to be passed down by word of mouth, coming down. But with Kali Yuga, man, you just give a chela a little guru mantra so long and he can't remember it. Much less to remember a slok from this Bhagavad Puran. Eh? Look how long devotees have been telling you, learn the Bhagavad Sumiran. Right? Anybody know it by now? Think about it. Right? So this knowledge, see the Ved Vyas, who was a Savavatar of Vishnu Bhagwan, a spark of that divine Vishnu Bhagwan, came on earth to document the scriptures. And Ved Vyas' son was Siddhi Sukdev Muni, who narrated this Bhagavad to Raja Parikshit. So having thus seated their devotees next to Ved Vyas, what happened? Hari Om Narayana Bhakti Kevalam. He seated Narad devotees and reproduced to him the, this hymn as heard from Narayan himself. Right? That's the praises by the Vedas then, as they praise the Bhagwan Krishna and the greatness of the Atma or the soul. And chanted devotees the Vedas, what the Vedas had said in living form before Siddhi Krishna Bhagwan. Narad reproduced it there now to Ved Vyas. Hari Om, Indra Pashesh. जो तुमने पूछा था सो हमको वर्णन किया है जैसे को हरि ओम श्री कि अनि देवश्य को और को निर्गुण को ब्रह्मा श्रुति के प्रवृत्ति की होता है श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जाए. In this way devotees, this hymn sung devotees here by the Vedas, being reproduced devotees by Narad devotees about the mind. The question devotees that you had asked of me before, O Parikshit, that would have answered it in fact. माया के दूर करने वाले भक्तों के हरि ओम भय नाशक को नारायण जो की को अपने को स्वरूप में को शयन किया को जीवों के पुरुष को सिद्ध करने लिए को सृष्टि इस स्थिति और को संहारे को करते हैं जो इस संसार के आदि मध्य में और अंत में भी रहते हैं जो प्रकृति पुरुष को भी को उपादान को कारण है और को जो इसको जगत को हरि उत्पन्न करते को जीव को साथ ही को प्रवेश को करते हैं श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जाए. श्री सुखदेव जी बोले कि हे राजा परीक्षित, here devotees as they had the discussion there now, Narad and Ved Vyas, and Narad reproduced the hymn which was done by the Vedas in the living form praising Bhagwan Krishna, the Atma, the soul. One should certainly again meditate on the lotus-like feet of that Lord Shri Krishna. Right? Keep your focus on those lotus-like feet. Devotees at the beginning when we're doing bandhana, that's what I tell you, let us close our eyes and keep focus on Krishna Bhagwan. And I give you a description of Krishna Bhagwan. That is not the description, There's a few idea of how his features are. You cannot finish describe Krishna Bhagwan or the Lord, so that you will bring that picture in your mind in this respect. Meditate on that form of the Lord. He dispels all the fears and he keeps Maya a distance away. What is man's trouble? Maya. What is Maya? This world, devotees, that we believe is real and true, and really is a big shock when you hear the knock on the door. You had to leave this world, Eh? And what we do with Maya because of it, we kill ourselves in it. Right? We kill ourselves. Think about it. How much effort, time, and energy, and you name it, and how we suffer this body just for Maya. And the big shock is you have to leave it and go. And those behind you, yeah, sure, you go cherish it, eh? Yeah, sure. Because you just kill yourself to make it, to prepare it, to preserve it. And as soon as you're gone, here what has gone? Who take over? Right? I don't know what should he keeping all them old thing in the safe day in the cabinet for. Throw them thing away, them is whole time thing. And you cherish that for your whole life. Eh? You think about it. All that you cherish and how you had gotten it and whatever. As soon as you're gone, get rid of them thing. Get rid of them old thing here from here. We want them again. Eh? Put it by the roadside. And what is one man's rubbish is our next man's treasure. Eh? Think about it. Somebody else go pass and pick it up. This is what has happened, and we kill ourselves. You see what the scripture shows, eh? We learn to live in this world and live out of it at the same time. Nothing is wrong by having the comforts of this world. Acquire it honestly. Honestly. Right? Stay detached from it. This is not mine. Bhagwan has allowed me to use it for the little while that are here. But it's not really my true purpose and objective. I have to leave this and go one day. That's why the bhajan is coming in. Jhute janama gavaya sadhu. Jhute janama gavaya. Do not waste this gifted body which is difficult to get. Shri Ram says is, when I look down in this Bhausagar and see the soul suffering from so many births, mercy does come in my heart. And then I say, well, look, let me give this soul a chance to come back as a human. And that's how we get a chance to come. You don't come by guess or coincidence. It has to be by the dint of hard work, burning out bad karmas, accumulating good ones, and the mercy of the Lord that's pushed the soul to get the human body. And here what he says here again, what we do, right, is that Bhagwan Sri Krishna, what does he do? He keeps Maya at a distance, so you will not be trapped by it. You will not be affected by it. Right? Many, many devotees can't, they're really trapped in Maya, you can't get out of it at all. Because the third eye is not open, you can't see beyond. You cannot see beyond the web of materialism. Hari Om Narayana Bhakti Kevalam Charana Kamale Bhyo Namo Namam Siddhi Bhagavana Vatsalam. So Krishna Bhagwan, now here what has gone with this body. You try to control the senses of perception. That not everything these eyes want to see is good for it. That everything the ears want to hear is good for it. Or the nose want to smell, or the mouth want to taste or say, or the hands want to touch and do. You try to control it and see if you can control it. With Maya so powerful in Kali Yuga, it's difficult. You know how you have to get that to control it? You have to beg the Lord. You have to keep begging and begging and begging. And one method of doing it, you see, let your head keep knocking on that shivling, right? Begging Shankar Bhagavan, begging him. It's only by the mercy of the Lord that has happened, or else you can't do it. You cannot do it. The mind is so, the Maya is so powerful that you just tell yourself, I could do that, man. Try it and see if you can walk there. It's the Lord's mercy that have to come in. Even if you are able to do it, it's through the Lord's mercy. So devotees, we have to beg Bhagavan for that, His grace and mercy to help us to gain control of Maya. Right? Maya, which is a trap in itself. Now we understand, we have to understand this too. Maya is the delusive power of the Lord, which is materialism. But Maya has two aspects of it. Now, one aspect is knowledge, one aspect is ignorance. Okay? Now, with knowledge, you could use Maya and build your good karmas. Okay? Like I was showing you, if a person has wealth, right, and you have knowledge, you could use the wealth which you acquire honestly and build your good karmas by doing good. Doing good actions with it then. Now, if you don't have that knowledge and with ignorance you have it, what happened? You will not be able to see beyond this material world. And you will devote it now for the pleasures of the senses. And you will commit karmas now that become detrimental to you, which is not good. And instead of moving up the ladder, you sink the soul lower in metapsychosis. So we must remember that. Remember what I said at the beginning. Nothing is wrong in having all the nice things in this world. Acquire it honestly. And with that knowledge, you could use it now to uplift yourself and better yourself in this respect. Hari Om Sri Bhagavan Vatsalam Mama Pujitam Pratigrihitam. इसी प्रकार को जो इसको संसार में आदि को मध्य और को अंत में भी रहते हैं, जो प्रकृति को पुरुष भी को उपादान करने है और इसको को जगत में उत्पन्न को करने जीव सात को हो प्रवेश को करते हैं, जिन्होंने जीवों का को भोग को देने लिए पृथक को शरीर को बनाए है। श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. And so, devotees, what happens? Bhagwan himself, he is the one who plans this universe. He brings it forth, devotees, and he allows it to manifest. And when the time comes, that same Lord reabsorbs it back into the cosmic egg. He takes the position as the creator, right? And as the preserver, and as the reabsorber, projected in different forms as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar Bhagavan. Is the same Krishna Bhagavan Narad is saying here. And devotees, Narayan, he is the ruler again of both the animate and inanimate creation. Things that are living and things that are non-living. We have to understand God is even in non-living things. Not only living beings because you see it moving. Right? And that's why we could watch a mountain and worship it. Look at a mountain by the Bedi there. Why? Because God is in non-living things also. As I draw the reference again, one time in the Samaj there, Lord Shiva was asked the question where we could find God. And devotees, his reply was, tell me where the Lord is not and then I'll tell you where he is. So everybody started to think, which part God and they huh? He is here, there, and everywhere. Even the most minute atomic particle you could think about, Bhagwan is present. And that is the Samadarshi, that why as Hindus, devotees, we could take any issue and worship it and see Bhagwan in it. The animate and inanimate creation, not only a thing that living and moving. You have to see him across the board, every aspect of his creation. That Master himself, devotees, is the Lord of the animate and inanimate. And devotees, he himself again is the unmanifest and the manifest. The unmanifest form of God is Nirgun Brahman. Birupagachale suno binukana karabu kare karama vidhanana. The Lord who sees without eyes and speaks without a mouth and hears without ears and performs actions without hands. He is that same Lord. And the same Lord again projected in a manifest form. Sankha Chakra Gada Pajban Mala Vibhushitam, Vishnu Bhagavan. He is the same one master of the universe. Just a projection in that form. Again I tell you here, Naraji is saying that Bhagavan himself, okay, what happens? He creates again through the three gunas and the primordial matter, right, the gross elements. And what happens? He enters into it as a living entity in it, which is the Atma or the soul. It is he himself. He himself is that primordial matter. Right? Where you could understand everything come from God, and that's where the Westerners get the idea of the Big Bang Theory. When creation had to take place, you had the Big Bang Theory coming out there, and everything creation takes place. But he is the same one master of that whole universe. The very Jivanas, the very body devotees, all of these, and he himself, the universal master alone. Hari Om Narayana Bhagavana Bhakti Kevalam, taken manifestation in diverse bodies. Right? Diverse bodies of Chow, Rasi, Lak, Yoni, 8,400,000 species of lives, which project devotees and come about because of a karmic situation. But each one is part and parcel of the Lord. And if and every one aspect of creation is a part and parcel of the Lord, that is where Samadarshi have to come in. You have to look at every issue with as a equality. And then again you have to practice ahimsa. What thou shalt not hurt. Because if the same Krishna Bhagwan in me and the same Krishna Bhagwan is in the dog, how I could hurt that dog? Right? How I could hurt that animal, I can't do it, much less to eat it. Think about it. Just think about it. Now one does lead to the other, and that will bring you now to become a veggie. To practice the ahimsa and the samadarshi, you have to go vegetarian. You wouldn't believe in California how many of them white people are now vegetarians. You wouldn't believe. Right? Knowing the greatness of this way of life and the diet. Yeah. Veggies. Total. When I say veggie too, vegetarians are classified, right? A true vegetarian is one who only uses vegetables and so on. No dairy products. Right? We are really lacto-vegetarians because we use, right, milk and the byproducts of meat. Of milk. There are some people, like the Adventists and so on, they keep away from certain type of meat and so on. Some people may only eat fish. You call them fisco-vegetarians. Some people only eat eggs. You call them ovo-vegetarians. Right? But the greatest is a pure veggie. Right? Milk devotees is part of our diet ever since, because you're not taking a life in order to go with it then. Right? So the lacto-vegetarians, we practice that type of vegetarian. But there are others that tell you they don't even use dairy products in this way. Nothing to harm in fact of life. Because they still feel that when you milk the cow and you take any milk, all right, you're depriving the cow or the heifer or somebody of it and so on. Right? They look at it in that way. You wouldn't believe. I met a he was mixed. 16 years old, right, from New York. He came from New York, right? How you call it? Between, let's say, Negro and Spanish, this young little chap. And he was telling me he don't wear a leather belt, neither leather slippers. I said, but why? He said, no. If I have to wear a leather belt and a leather slippers, then I am encouraging killing the cow to get the leather for that purpose. If there's not a demand, there will not be a supply. A 16-year-old boy told me that. Think of it. Right? So you see how conscious some people are. Very, very conscious of the surrounding. So devotees, what happened? Bhagwan is in every aspect of his creation, both animate and inanimate, and we have to learn, devotees, to see that. He comes, devotees, creates everything, maintains it, and reabsorbs it back into the cosmic egg once more. Hari Om Narayana Bhagavana Bhakti Kevalam Krishnaya Paramat. This has brought us to the end, devotees, of this 10th chapter. One chapter, the 10th volume, which we have been reading for the longest while. Iti Srimad Bhagavate Mahapurane Dashamaskande Uttardware Bhashati Kayam Narayan ko Narad ko Sampare Vedastuti Astutirnam ko Saptashiti Dhamodhyaya Samapti प्रेम से बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। बोलो श्री राधा वर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। This has brought us to this end of this chapter, devotees. It's a long while since before the COVID we have been dealing with this chapter, right? A very long, but again, the amount of information in it, right? And you see, this is how the knowledge comes. You have to, the teachings of life are embedded in the lines of the scriptures. Right? One line, you get so much of information and so much of knowledge that could help us. So, Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Let us praise Krishna Bhagwan and then we'll start the other chapter. Prabhu ji mere aavo, Prabhu ji mere aavo, Prabhu ji mere aavo. प्रभु जी मेरे आओ, प्रभु जी मेरे आओ,
प्रभु जी मेरे आओ।
भजुले गोविंद, भजुले गोविंद, भजुले गोविंदम। ये दुनिया है प्रभु की माया, भजुले गोविंदम। ओ
भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंदम। ये दुनिया है प्रभु की माया, भजले गोविंदम।
ओम प्रभु जी मेरे आवो, प्रभु जी मेरे आवो, प्रभु जी मेरे आवो,
प्रभु जी मेरे आओ, प्रभु जी मेरे आओ, प्रभु जी मेरे आओ।
चारे उरा मेरा भय उदासी,
चारे ओरा मेरा भय उदासी।
अखियाँ हरे दर्शन की प्यासी,
अखियाँ हरि दर्शन की प्यासी।
आंखें प्यास मिटावो, जिया वो प्रभु आवो, प्रभु जी मेरे आवो।
आंखें प्यास मिटाओ, जियाओ प्रभु आओ, प्रभु जी मेरे आओ।
प्रभु जी मेरे आवो, प्रभु जी मेरे आवो, प्रभु जी मेरे आवो,
प्रभु जी मेरे आओ, प्रभु जी मेरे आओ, प्रभु जी मेरे आओ।
भजुले गोविंद, भजुले गोविंद, भजुले गोविंदम। ये दुनिया है प्रभु की माया, भजुले गोविंदम।
भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंद, भजले गोविंदम। ये दुनिया है प्रभु की माया, भजले गोविंदम।
बिनती तेरा प्रभु कोई न जाने,
विनती तेरा प्रभु कोई न जाने।
प्रभु तुझे प्रभु कोई न माने,
प्रभु तुझे प्रभु कोई न माने।
आंखें मुरलिया बजावो रे जावो, प्रभु आवो, प्रभु जी मेरे आवो।
आंखें मुरलिया बजाओ, रिझाओ प्रभु आओ, प्रभु जी मेरे आओ।
भजुले गोविंद, भजुले गोविंद, भजुले गोविंदम।
ये दुनिया है प्रभु की माया, भजले गोविंदम।
ओ प्रभु जी मेरे आवो, प्रभु जी मेरे आवो,
प्रभु जी मेरे आओ।
ओ प्रभु जी मेरे आवो,
प्रभु जी मेरे आओ,
प्रभु जी मेरे आवो, प्रभु जी मेरे आवो, प्रभु जी मेरे
आओ।
बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्री सुखदेव मुनि बोले कि हे राजा परीक्षित, मन वचन कर्म सुनो। इसे लिसन वंस मोर as I tell you. हरि ओम रजोवाच, हरि ओम। देवासुर को मनुष्य को शूषे, यहाँ को भजन को शिरंग को शिवम। हरि ओम श्री प्रायस्ते को धन इनो को भोजा, न तू को लक्ष्या को पति हरिम। एकद को वेदी वेदी तुम भिक्षाम को, संदेह को अन को महान ही नह। विरुद्ध को शीलियों को हरिओम प्रभो तिरपी रुद्रा भजन को गति है। श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। Sri Sukdev Muni, Raja Parikshit in fact asked Sri Sukdev Muni that, hey Brahmano, O Holy One, please listen. Hari Om. देवता को असुर को मनुष्यों में जो भोग सुख को तिरस्कार को करने वाले शिव का को भजन करते थे वे धनवान होता है, और को लक्ष्मीपति को भगवान श्री कृष्ण चंद्र का भजन करते वाले नहीं तो क्या है। यहाँ जानकी को हमारे इच्छा है, शिव और को विष्णु के भजन को करने वाला संपूर्ण विरुद्ध को फल को मिलता है। क्यों जो की को हरिओम शिव का को विभूति को लगा को हरिओम श्री शमशान को बास को करने वाले अमंगल रूप को पासन को कुछ नहीं है। राधा वर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। King Parikshit asked Sri Sukdev Muni that, tell me, O Master, those amongst all the divinities, in fact, demons and men and all the others and so on, right, that worship devotee Shankar Bhagavan, okay, Lord Shiva then, who has again spurred all attachment and enjoyment in this world, and generally found devotees to be what? Wealthy and enjoying the pleasures of the senses, but not so those who dedicate to Bhagavan Vishnu, right? Shankar Bhagavan is the yogi, the Mahayogi, okay? So you find one, if you notice, like the Shivites who dedicate and devote themselves, right? The yogis are the Himalayas. They are not in materialism, okay? They control the senses of perception, the organs of action. They awaken all the chakras, kundalinis, lift it to the highest point, the pineal gland, and they stay in oneness with Bhagavan, okay? Unlike to those who worship Vishnu Bhagavan. For Vishnu Bhagavan, through the devatas, and I will bless you in this world, that you will have things to enjoy life here. Okay, in this world then. The difference between the two in this way. But yet still again, he is asking here, all right, that not so those again who devote to Vishnu Bhagavan, who is the spouse of Lakshmi herself, the goddess of prosperity. She will bless and give you everything and so on in this way. And the devotees, and she will cause again, endowed again with all enjoyment, all the blessings she'll give you with all the enjoyments in life of dharam, arth, kama, and moksha. Right? What is arth? Dharma is to grow spiritually. Arth is the material things you need comfortably here. Kama is your desires, dreams, ambitions, and aspirations. And moksha is oneness with God. When you're looking at the second one, especially arth. Now we are who live in the Grihasti ashram, okay, we go through that phase where because when you have family and so on, you have to have the things in this world to live comfortably. Sometimes you as a man, you don't really study, you know. You don't think of bother you, you know. But it bother the lady plenty. She want to have a nice house, the couch had to look good, and the curtain had to suit matching with this. That don't really bother a man, you know. Right? A man go use the same clothes and go in 5 weddings, but not a lady, eh? Every different wedding, she had a guy in new outfit. Right? Well, I was showing you then, it's natural. Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay? So devotees, you see what happens here. The goddess of wealth, who is Lakshmi, whose spouse is Vishnu Bhagavan, will bless one. Okay, with all these enjoyments and so on in this world. I am eager to know, he says here, right? How is it that then the lot of those who worship the two, Bhagavan, Shivji and Vishnu Bhagavan, they have contrary disposition when you look at them. Right? Vishnu Bhagavan, if you look at him, is more readily, fully dressed and all these things. Shankar Bhagavan, devotees, he just wears a loincloth. When Shiv Baba going anyway, he's traveling on the bull Nandi, and he have the followers with him. Who are they? Bhoot, all the spirits and all of them and so on accompanying him. When Lord Shiva went to get married and the Bharat reached, you know the ladies who just come to Parashadi Dulaha? When they come out of Parashadi Dulaha, them drop the thali, everything, and run, you know. Because the type of Bharatians that came there, Aj Shiva Byahan Aye. He was riding on the bull. And the Bharatians, some had no head, some with one hand, one foot. Sankini, Dankini, Rog, Dog, Sog. Coronavirus was there too. Is all that Shankar Bhagwan, it's part of creation. The virus is alive. So when them ladies and them come to Parshat, them dropped her head together, run away and hide. Right? So you look at the contradiction between the two of them then. Narad Muni is asking here in this way. Hariom Narayan, Raja Parikshit is asking Siddhi Sukdev Muni. Bhagavan Vatsalam Narayan Bhagavan Kevalam Hariom. उनका को जो पुरुष भजन कर को लक्ष्मीपति हो और को भोग की को की है भारत शिव में को शक्ति रहती है को गुणों में को परस्पर जो हरिओम आपस में को संघर्षण को के तमो गुणों के तीन प्रकार को है हरिओम सत्वी को अहंकार को राजस को अहंकार और को तामस को अहंकार करते हैं श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Siddhi Sukdev Raja Parikshit is asking again here. All right, what is to be expected then? Very great indeed again is my doubt in this fact, on this point then between the two of them, the way they operate, the way they dress, and one give and the other again is more as a yogi in this respect then. Which one of the two then is he quicker to grant someone a boon or anything that you may wish for? Very important, and listen to it. Right? Because we say in this, Siddhi Sukdev Muni bole, कि हे राजा परीक्षित मन वचन कर्म सुनो. Listen, I tell you. शिव में को शक्ति रहता है गुणों के परस्पर जो आपस में को संघर्षण के को तमोगुण तीन प्रकार को है सात्विक अहंकार को राजस को अहंकार और तामस को अहंकार है. ऐसे तीन प्रकार को अहंकार के अधिष्ठान को विष्णु को ब्रह्मा शिव को यहाँ तीन को रूप को धारण करते हैं. राधा वर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय. He said, listen, O Parikshit, Shankar Bhagwan ever remains united again with his own Shakti, his energy. That Shakti is Parvati Devi herself. He is united with her, right? He is again invested with the three gunas, Sato, Rajo and Tamogun. And he is the deity that is presiding over the ahankar or the cosmic ego existing within us. Shankar Bhagwan is the one for that. All the symbolism of Lord Shiva that you see with the snake and all these things and so on, okay, everything has a meaning with it, you know, right? Conquering, the snake is egoistic, you know, right? The snake carries many kind of qualities with it too. Shankar Bhagwan has conquered it. As Ganesh conquers the rat is again has its meaning in this respect. We will look at it from a literal point of view. They represent something in this way, which again is threefold in character. All right? The ahankar or the cosmic ego, right, is threefold in character. And what are they? Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. Sattvic nature is the highest and purest. Rajasic is passionate. And Tamasic is the lowest of the three in this way. So devotees, this Tamasic type, all right, which is again, out of these three again varieties, it says, of Ahankar, evolves what? Hari Om, पृथ्वी जल तेज को वायु आकाश में यहाँ को पंचभूत और को 10 इंद्रियों को तथा एवं बन 16 को विकार हुआ है। इस विकारों में कोई एक को विकार को वान उपाधि रूप को विकार का को भजन करने में संपत्ति को मिली है और उपाधि को वालों का भजन करने से को उपाधि को मिलती है। श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। From the Ahankar evolved the 16 final evolutes out of them, which are really devotees. The mind, which comes from the Sattvic nature, all right? The 10 Indriyas, which are the organs of perception, the sense of perception and the organs of actions, okay? And you have the 5 gross elements, 10 and 5, 15 and 1 will make 16. They come from the cosmic ego in this way, from the tamasic in fact. And offering worship, again it tells you here, to the deity presiding over any one of these, one obtaining, it says, all form of earthly prosperity. Okay? The deities that control them, by worshiping them, one will be blessed. And these are the devatas, in fact. Gita tells us that when we progress in this world, when we prosper in this world, is because of the blessings of the devatas. And anytime you enjoy that and you do give thanks for it, you're considered a thief. So that is why you see the Hindu knows, if it's at least once for the year, you put aside a little money and you go organize back all Baba and do a little puja and feed the little people and so on. And by doing that, you give thanks and you renew the bliss again to continue to have progress. We cannot progress without the blessings of the divinities. Very, very important. What we say as man, I work hard and I make. If the Lord can get a job for you, and the Lord can provide the income for it, that you could get it, that for you to buy what you want to buy, how are you going to get it? Yet as man, we knock our chest out of ego and says, I who did. No, 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 no. Valmiki said, whatever you get, he tells Sri Ram and Ramayan, that individual must give thanks to you first and foremost, because it's through your grace it has happened. And God's conscious person always do that. You give thanks to God for everything that you have obtained in this world. Hari Om Narayan Bhagavan, Bhagavan Vishnu, sabka ko dekhne wale ko sakshat, sakshi bhut ko Hari Bhagavan ko jo purush bhajan karne na, ve nirgun ko hota hai. Again, what happened? Vishnu Bhagavan again, and on the other hand, is the Supreme Person himself, and beyond Prakriti, devotees, and devoid of the three gunas himself. Vishnu Bhagavan is above everything. Satya Purush himself. Right? Yet you see what happens, he comes down and take part of everything, but yet still he's aloof from it in this way. All right? But I tell you again, Raja Parikshit, Ashwamedh Yagya jab ko puran ho chuka ko tab tumhari ko nara hai. Again, it's at the conclusion of the Ashwamedh Yagya, when Yudhishthira kept it. He telling Raja Parikshit, when your grandfather kept the Ashwamedh Yagya, Yudhishthira was the grandfather of Parikshit. Okay? Then what happened here? राजा युधिष्ठिर को वैष्णव को धर्म के को श्रवण कर को पीछे श्री कृष्ण जी को यही को बात पूछाती है. And listening from the lips of the Lord Bhagavan Krishna as to the various types of sacred duties, he asked of Lord Krishna a certain question. Hari Om. तो मनुष्य को कल्याण को करने लिए को यदुकुल में को अवतार धारी को समर भगवान कृष्ण को प्रसन्न हो राजा युधिष्ठिर को कहने लगे कि होता है that Krishna Bhagavan, who is the mighty Lord and Master of the universe, he came in the Yadu race as a Yadu devotees, ensuring again the highest good in men. All right? Bhagwan comes devotees, and he took avatar in the Yadu race, which as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, ensuring the highest good in men, because it's to negate the wrong, wipe out the wrong, and set the pace of righteousness that one could move upward again. So here again he said to King Yudhishthir, O Yudhishthir, Bhagwan bole, कि जिस पुरुष के ऊपर को भाई को कृपा करता को है उनका को धन धारे कि धीरे को हर के हरियम लेता है इसमें को उपरांत जब को दरिद्र को हो जाता है तब को दुख हो के को तुल्य और को निर्धन को जाकर उक्ष्मी के उसे को भाई को बंधु सब को त्याग देते दुहाई श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जाए. भगवान said to him, right, that, O Yudhishthir, that individual of whom I shower again my grace upon will gradually, again it says here, he will gradually, what happened here, devotees, become deprived of wealth, all right? His son, the people, and thereupon will forsake him. Whoever I shower my grace will gradually devotees become deprived of wealth somewhere along the line. And when devotees during the course of life you are deprived of wealth, right? Everybody start to neglect you at that point in time. Once you have money and you could provide, everybody keep close. Look at a fellow who likes to drink. Once he likes to drink, and he always where drinking taking place, he always have friends. The day he says stop drinking, see all the friends gone. So even in your home, whilst you could provide, everybody wrong you. Wife and children, everybody like you too bad, boy. But he says once you become deprived of it, Krishna Bhagavan is telling Yudhishthira here, thereupon again, all will forsake him, and you reduce to the state of poverty and stricken devotees with sorrow, because you don't have it again. The scriptures also tell us poverty is a sin and a crime. The worst misery is to be a poor person. You know what people never believe that I end up in this with the COVID-19? That where you actually have to humble to somebody to give you something, right? Some were blessed and you didn't have to go out and look because you had enough to provide. But what's what you end up in a situation where please help me, it's not a nice thing. And with that, devotees, you have to humbly grumble. You have to humble it. He said, when that time come, devotees, he reduced the poverty and stricken again with sorrow. When again, yaha bhakta bhai logo ke ko agrah se kudan उपार्जन को करते हैं फिर को उद्योग भी बेरा परंतु मेरे अनुग्रह से उसका को सबको उद्योग व्रत हो जाता है और सो जब उसे को प्रबल को वैराग उत्पन्न की होता है. When again it tells you here again, while striving again once more, with or without again it says, to acquire wealth, he finds out again, devotees, that all his attempts, what happened? They become abortive again through my grace. And getting again, he says here again, getting again devotees, deluded once more. You become dejected in this way. And getting again, disappointed again. What happens? He makes friends with my devotees. You understand what we want to go on there? Krishna Bhagavan is telling Yudhishthira that person, I have always devotees related to you to look at a film. You have two versions of it, an old one and a new one. Look for the old one. Waqt. W-A-Q-T. Time will tell. And you'll see what I'm talking about here. Bhagavan Krishna says, whilst you have the wealth, you doesn't bother about him. You are studying God. You have money to flaunt. Boy, let me eat, drink, and marry, and have a good time, and live nicely, and so on. But the day you deprive of that wealth, and everybody forsake you, and you're trying hard to get back, and you can't get back, where you ending up? That is now you want to go back to God. But let me go in the temple and see what's wrong. Let me go and check with Baba, boy, and see if I have some growth, some kind of thing. Not so. It ain't supposed to be so. With knowledge, with the wealth, you could use it to build your karmas. In what devotees, when the fella didn't have, they used to pray. When tell you pray, real pray, and God bless them. And the moment they were blessed with wealth, he forget God. He started to keep party and all them thing, and one earthquake came and separated the whole family and all the thing and so on. Right? So we must not be carried away by that. Bhagavan tells you he does it. When Lord Shiva and Parvati came now, as he told people what he did. The fellow who only had one cow, he gave him 9 more. Is walk your like, take walk. The fellow who had the 10 and had the time to serve him, he take all away. So what happens really is very rare you find a wealthy person does have time for God. Blessed is that individual who is along that pathway. Is most time, you think bad and you're struggling along the line, then you go and praying plenty and think, and you want to be in this kind of environment because you have money to go out there and lavish. You can't go online because for the line you have to have money. So let me come in the temple instead, because I had to spend 1 cent here. And I show when the puja done, I'll get parasad, panchamrit, I'll get food and I'll get to carry home too. Where you going to lose out? Where you going to lose out? You can't lose out. So this is what Krishna was telling you this year. When you're totally deprived now, and it happens to us. Whilst you have the wealth, and a little sickness take you. Doctor, nursing home, this, that, all them things. Spend the money, man, spend it. Eh? When all done now, and you still ain't getting better. Wait, let me go by Baba here, boy, and see some pujaning to do and so on, Which to do first, you want to do last in this respect. You see how the words are true? Very, very true. Okay? So Krishna Bhagwan from his own lips told Yudhishthira that. He said, oh Yudhishthira, again, that is the time I show my special grace on that individual when he attains that diversion from materialism. Because when you can't engage in it, you can't depend upon it, and now you're totally now distancing from it. So I now shower my grace upon him. Think about it. Devotees in Ramayana, Lakshman told Guha, we are set up in 3 states, right? You could be sleeping, you could be halfway awakened, and you could be fully awakened. Who is the sleeping person? The one who third eye open. Who is the half awakened person? The one whose third eye halfway open. And who devotees is the one who is fully awakened? The one devotees who develops the aversion for this material world. Right? You have to learn to live in it, but it must not bother you. We are human beings, it has happened to an extent. But the issue is that it has keep drawing you like a magnet back into it. We have to have that control over it. Because again, the same issue, the bhajan comes back. Do din to pahunai jagat me maya me bharmaya. Ek pita ke hum sab larke dharti. My son, my wife, my this, that, and you kill yourself for everything and everything you want, understand that. And the day you fall down dead, the body don't have time get cold, they don't call it for religion. See, get this dead man out of here. So much a love was professed for you, and the moment you lie down lifeless there, before they really check and see, before doc come, they call it for religion first. Take this dead man out of here for one time, right? Some again even care to do the little rites and rituals for you. They drop you on the cremation site there. But before that, they say, hey, very person, make sure and throw the water across the road, When the hearse had to move, and you know what I saw? Don't come back here, We want you back here. Put you in that pyre there. Well, I'm sorry, but you have to beat your body. Koi na le jai he dhan ban ke ghatariya. O koi na le jai he dhan ban ke ghatariya. And yet we kill, we fight, we use up this whole life, devotees. Don't misinterpret me. We have family. You must care for them. You must provide it for them. What is the trouble? That mamta, that attachment, that is mine. God put us here for a reason, but you have to learn to understand. We have it for a little while, but it is not mine, because you have to leave it one day and go. Bhagwan is saying here, when you deprive of every other thing, and you're totally now distanced from Maya, then I come in with my grace upon you. To shower my grace upon you, so that you will readily follow on my footstep, in my footstep. And so devotees, and then what happened again? Ki vairag ke utpan ki hota. Vairag means the controlling the senses of perception and the organs of action, because you have the money to lavish outside here. Right? So them kind of nice thing out there can't bother you now. Okay? You have the money to spend and go in all them places where, remember where Kalyug tell you go be in manifest in this time, where there is alcohol and alcohol-related activities, where there is the killing of animals and the eating of meat, in the gambling dens, right? The gambling dens, where there is gambling, find me there, I'll be present there. The other one again is in, You had to kill enough animals and eat enough meat, right? The prostitute shops and the brothels. And then gold devotees, which is that money. Money is a very great thing, a very good thing. Money could help you build your good karmas. But on the other side, they come back and tell you, money is the root of all evil. You see it? Gold devotees, for Gita Dan to be effective, you have to have a piece of gold on it. To do a Gaudan, you must have a piece of gold. But look on the other side what gold could do also. You see? So it depends on what, where it is used and how it is used in this way. So devotees, what happen now? You find yourself gravitating towards that godly environment. And that is the time I shower my grace, where he attains, devotees, oneness with that Supreme Brahman. By total, how you call it, developing a total aversion for this material world. And that's where the little song that's coming, you see when that happens, you get to realize, boy, let me use this body, how God make you supposed to use it, eh? Two little eyes to look to God, two little ears to hear His word, two little hands to do His will, two little feet to walk His way, and one little mouth to sing His praise. That now will start to become priority, and that is what will help you. This is what devotees will bring the upliftment in us. Hariam, मेरी कृपा से के उसको हरिओम परब्रह्म को हरिओम सूक्ष्म को चैतन्य को सर्वव्यापी नाशक हित को आत्मा को ज्ञान की होता है, उसलिए को मेरा को आराधना को बुद्धकतिन को है, और इसमें कारण को मुझे को त्याग कर वहाँ पुरुष और को देवताओं को भजता है। श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। Here devotees, he now will work his way to attaining that supreme state, which is again, devotees, it says here, it could be very substantial, difficult again to comprehend by the ordinary. And it consists of that pure consciousness and truth, which is Atma merging into Paramatma, which will not be understood easily by the ordinary. Right? The ordinary can understand it. That the issue of reincarnation, that we keep coming and going, is only for time until the end of it comes, when the soul will merge in oneness with Paramatma, which should be the ultimate, and which we should always strive towards working, and which is easy to achieve whilst the soul is in this human body. We have the blessed privilege with it. Hariyam, that is, I tell you again, people again turn their back on me, right, as one very difficult to please, and they worship the other deities on the other side. Gita tells you that, you know. All right? When you worship devotees, others, you achieve them. But if you worship Krishna Bhagavan, you achieve Krishna Bhagavan. Now you have what you call, the same Gita tells us. Now we have to understand, we live in this Grihasti ashram, the family life. You want food, you must go to work, have an income, you have bills to pay, all these things and so on. All right, we have to provide for all that. So you want the blessings of the devatas on them. But through the devatas, you could achieve oneness with Krishna Bhagavan. You know what is the other aspect here? When you start to worship the lower others, right? You have to give a sacrifice to get that. You become devotees obligated, and you will achieve that, right? You want to go by the say, go by Krishna Bhagavan, you're going by the Siyaman to see what you can do to help you. That is what you're going to do. And all these new things that you see coming up today, a lot of people don't realize it has an obligation with it. And the obligation goes down to generations. Think about it. Generations. You might do it whilst you there. But what's about when your son gets big and he tell you, look, I ain't involved in anything again, you know. Me, I want to be involved in that. That's where the trouble comes. So that is when you go that way, you're going to achieve that, because that is what you want. Bhagavan says here that worship me, worship the devatas, will come to me. Churi aur devata chitana dharai hanumata sei sarva sukha karai. Through Hanumanji devotees, you could get oneness with Vishnu Bhagwan, get everything here. Because when you do Hanuman Puja, inside his heart, you have Shri Ram, who is Vishnu Bhagwan, Lakshmi, who is Sita, right? And Lakshman, who is Shisha. Antakala Raghupati Purajai, Jaha Janma Hari Bhakta Kahai, right? Through him, he'll make you get that oneness with Bhagwan Vishnu, who is Krishna Bhagwan himself. But these lower aspects of worship, you're going to end up back down there. Bhagwan says, think carefully. And they always tell you, bichar kare, think carefully before you get into something, right? Because you don't want to get in it, and you get stuck in it, and you don't know how to come out devotees. Hari Om Narayan, सेवा करने को शीघ्र को प्रसन्न होने वाले को देवताओं से को राज्य और को धन प्राप्ति को होने के उद्यत को मत वाले को हरिओम उन्बर को होकर वे प्राणी को वर के को देव वाले को देवताओं के को भूल कर को अवज्ञा को करते हैं. He says again, he later again, true. All this royal fortune and so on that you get, obtained through such types of worship, right? All that you will get then, through such types of worship and so on. What happened? From the others, the sub in this way, who are quickly again propitiated devotees, what happened? They get intoxicated with the pride now. When you have, you're simple, you're humbly down to earth. The moment you get devotees, think about it. Your money is ahead of a thing, right? Very rare man really acquire and he go up there and he remains simple and down to earth. The wise, the greatest person, the mango tree, the more it bears, the more it bow down. But wealth is something could change a man terribly, 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 terribly. Because you figure you could just buy everything. Right? You could buy even the judge and all, you could buy this one, you could buy all that one, anything whatsoever. Right? And this is what Krishna Bhagwan is saying. The wealth does that. Okay? It contaminates devotees, this mind of ours. And very easily, intoxicated with that pride, we go astray, forgetting again the very devatas who bless you. Bhagwan give you, and all you know you get it, and you forget to give back thanks. And when you do give thanks, Krishna Bhagwan said in chapter 3 Gita, you're a big thief. I give you, and you didn't even say thanks. Devotees, Krishna Bhagwan tells us in Gita, when you sit down to eat, if you don't offer that food to God, you're a thief. Think about it. Now here, you see trouble again? What kind of food you go offer to God now? It had to be kannabula phal. So you see, Ajay, why you have to be a veggie? Right? You have, no matter what, you have to become a vegetarian. So he says the very ones who bless them, the devatas who bless them, when they get it, intoxicated with that pride, they forget about everything. Hari Om Narayana Paramatamaye Govindaye Namo Namam. He says, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiv इत्यादि को देव को श्राप और को अनुग्रह करने को समर्थ है. शिव ब्रह्मा दोनों को शीघ्र हो प्रसन्न होते हैं और शीघ्र को श्राप को देता है, परंतु भगवान श्री कृष्ण शीघ्र प्रसन्न नहीं की होता है, और जिस पर को प्रसन्न होता है फिर उसको को श्राप नहीं देता है. इसको विषय में एक प्राचीन इतिहास में को सबको वर्णन करते हैं. हरिओम जैसे शिव को ब्रिकासुर को का को वर को देता की होता है. श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Sri Sukdev Muni saying to Raja Parikshit, Krishna Bhagwan is saying here, Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, Bhagwan and other devatas, they have the power, devotees, to curse or to bless. They could bless you and they could also srap you. Right? The divinities could bless you and uplift you, and they could also srap you or negate all your progression in your life. Be it Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, Bhagwan, or whosoever it is. And devotees, Shankar and Brahma are very, very, it says here, prompt in blessing devotees as well as cursing. Very easy to appease. You do tapasya to Brahma, he want to grant you. All them Danavas and them Ravan and how you call him, Hiranyakashipu and Hirnaksha and all of them and so on. If Brahma is to go and pray to, right? Brahma will appear where you want, what you want. Mahishasur said, Brahma, grant me the boon. Nobody must kill me beside a lady. Say, okay, so shall it be. Yeah? Anything you want, Brahma want to give you. Shankar Bhagwan is the next one. See the Sukdev Muni telling him, without thinking, Shankar Bhagwan does give you what you want. Devotees, we just underestimate the night of Shivratri. You know what merits you get on a Shivratri night? If you observe that night as it should, you get the merits equal to a person who would have worshipped Lord Shiva for the whole year, 365 days. You get on Shivratri night. And yet still we don't really value it, devotees, to the extent. That is the power of the night of Shivratri. He said, Brahma and Shankar Bhagwan, very quickly they give you boons. But very quickly too, they can pronounce curse upon you. I tell you again, to show you this, the truth of it, I'm going to tell you a beautiful little itihas or katha pertaining to a boon that Shankar Bhagwan had granted to a demon called Vrika. Right? What was this boon? That was granted to Vrikasur. But we will have to do that another night. All right? So the katha takes a twist now, more Puranic in issue here, as to show you that the grant of boons, Shankar Bhagwan Brahmaji, very, very easy. I tell you, if you really humble yourself, you know the Shiv Chalisa tell you? Right? Reading Shiv Chalisa in your house, if you're indebted financially, a way that's come for you to pay out your debts without thinking, Rinia. Yeah. Your installments, it just come by and without any pressure. Right? I told a loan manager that, it's written, fasting on a Trayodasi day. You will not be afflicted by diseases that afflict this body, and you will not suffer from mental stress or worries. The Trayodasi day is 3 days before the full moon and the new moon. Shivratri night, you get a blessing for a whole year worship of Lord Shiva. Shankar Bhagwan is called Bhola Bhandari Baba. Right? He will be angry with our actions. But as soon as you start to beg him, he and all us get overpowered with the devotion. Vishnu Bhagwan has quarreled with him. He said, I tell you, without thinking, you just give them devotees anything they want. As soon as they start to appease you, you get overpowered. Think about it. And you have to give them what you want, and end up in trouble. Bhagwan Shankar is Bhola Bhandari Baba. I feel is the easiest of all the divinities in terms of granting boons, personally. Shankar Bhagwan. So what is this little itihas, devotees, where he granted Vrikasur a certain boon we are going to listen to our next occasion. Prem se boliye Sri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Umapati Mahadev ki jai. However, devotees, we will not have Bhagavad Katha next week. Next week, a devotee of the mandir, which is Adonis Pasar, is his birthday, and he always comes and celebrates it in the temple. Right? He's a Hanuman Bhakta. But since it's fall on a Thursday, he wants to do a Hanuman Puja that evening. So we'll have a Bedi Puja for him Thursday evening instead of Bhagavad Katha. Okay? Following after, we'll continue with that. So tonight, devotees, we are blessed with this privilege once more afforded to us to be in the mandir as we observe again during this issue of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's nice to see so many of you out, and we still maintain the disciplines involved. We work with the law of the country, we work again with all the health restrictions. And it's nice to see all of you social distancing one, and wearing your mask, sanitizing, and all of these. If we do our part, we'll be able to help and control it. Tonight, devotees, we want to say thanks to Radha, who did puja this evening. She humbly obliged in this respect. Bhagwan, may he continue to bless you. And Radha has done puja this evening, and we want to thank our devotee who sponsored the parasat tonight. That is Miss Linda Motilal. Right? Is Motilal? What? Linda what? Right? Linda from New York Devotees, every year she sends money for us to prepare Parasad on her behalf. So Linda, if you're looking at us on our Facebook page, we want to thank you very much. And stay very safe and very healthy. And may Lord Shiva grant you the desire of your heart. God bless you. So devotees, as I told you, next week we'll have Puja Dibedi, Adonis's birthday, and we will join in celebrating it with him. Devotees, as we conclude, we are following instructions. Remember, only the devotee who did puja will do the arati. The arati will be rested downstairs. You take your arati and prasad will be right next to it. You take your parcel. I also want to let you know that due to the issue with the COVID-19, we had to make certain decisions. And a few of those decisions are our annual yag in the mandir is now postponed. Right? If you look on your yearly schedule, you will see we had a yag carded for next month. That is postponed. The family day, which organized by the youth group, is also put off. All right? Besides that also, our tirat will also be put off. We will not have tirat. And also devotees will have to forego our Ram Leela this year. So we will not be having any Ram Leela presentation this year because of the situation with this pandemic. Okay? So what happened is that we'll have continuous satsang right through. So our normal Thursday night satsang continues, and our full moon katha and other monthly observances that we host in the temple. All right? Bolo Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Bhagwan's blessings to you. We have this blessed privilege, devotees, to listen to Bhagavad Katha, which is once in a lifetime opportunity. All right? We stand please at this time, and before we, while she stand, I just want to make mention. At the end, while she closes, we'll offer special prayer. Our president of the temple, Mr. Indar Maraj, is not well. And when I say he's not well, he's not well. However, he came today, he with assistance some others, he lighted his LD and does the devotion and so on, but he's really not well. And before we close, we'll offer prayer on his behalf. Okay, so let us stand please, and we ask our devotee who did puja to please commence the arati. Hari Om. Yani kani cha papani janavantar kretani ta tani tani vinashanti pradakshina pare pare. Hari Om. Narayan bhakti kevalam mama pujitam. O Jai Jai Bhagavat Bhagwan की कै आरती पापियों को पाप से कै तारती जय जय
भागवत भगवान की कै आरती पापियों को पाप से कै तारती
ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला और नव ज्योति जगाने वाला
ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला
ओ हरि गान यही वरदान यही ओ हरि गान यही
वरदान यही
जग की महिमा की आरती पापियों को पाप से
तारती
जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ओ जय जय भागवत
भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत श्रापों को मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला।
ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत श्रापों को मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला।
ओ है ये सुख करनी, है ये दुख हरनी,
है सुख करनी, है दुख हरनी। ये मधुसूदन की आरती,
पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ओ जय जय भागवत
भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
ओ ये मधुर बोल जग बंद खोल, सन मार्ग दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला।
ये मधुर बोल जग बंद खोल, सन मार्ग दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला।
ओ श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही, ओ
श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही।
ओ प्रभु की महिमा की आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ओ जय जय भागवत
भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती।
जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल।
ओ हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
ओ हरि बोल हरि बोल। बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। We humble ourselves in prayerful submission, giving thanks, O Lord, for these moments of togetherness in this holy environment. In your mind, devotees, as we join in our universal prayer, beg Bhagwan Sri Krishna Shankar Bhagwan that we ask again that our dear President, devotees, whatever ailment he has, may he get relief from same and be back to quick recovery, to take up the helm as the captain of the ship, which he really was a good one whilst he was healthy, we beg. Om Shantakaram
Bhujangashayanam
Padmanabham
Suresh सदृशम्
ओ विश्वधारम्
गगन सदृशम्
मेघवर्णम्
शुभांगम्
ओ लक्ष्मीकान्तम्
कमलनयनम्
योगी
ध्यानगम्यम्
ओ वन्दे विष्णु
भवभयहरम्
सर्वलोकैकनाथम् ॐ त्वमेव माता
च पिता त्वमेव
त्वमेव बन्धो
च सखा त्वमेव
ओ त्वमेव विद्या
द्रविणं त्वमेव
त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम। प्रेम से बोलिए श्री उमापति महादेव की जय, राधावर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय, सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय, पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, गुरु रामानंद स्वामी की जय, आदि शक्ति जगदम्बे माता की जय, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, सर्वदेवी सर्वदेवता की जय। साधु गुरु के दंडवत जय 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 सीताराम। आपकी आसन लीजिए, प्लीज बी सीटेड।